There's such a failing amongst physicians and colleagues to not properly identify a successor, to have succession planning built into your strategic plan, into all of your programs, but also to think about how will your succession plan work out if your successor isn't cultivated at every stage along their path. And having a leadership coach is a tremendous resource, one I wish I was able to have earlier on. And leadership academies are, again, another great opportunity for physicians to continue building out these skills.
Yeah. I think part of what we need to look at is more of a holistic approach to leadership development, because I think there's multiple ways to go about it. And I've seen, I've worked with people that have done an MHA or an MBA or an executive MBA. And, that's very, tactical and theoretical and stuff like that, which is definitely needed because you need to understand
Mhm.
the aspects of leadership and the structures and theories and stuff like that as well, right? But I think we also need to, I always use myself as an example, right? I've been recruiting for 25 years. I'm pretty skilled at it from what I would guess. And like, I keep signing up for courses, and then you do the course and you realize you learn nothing in the course. So what I've started doing is having conversations with other people that are coaches that know me. So the notion is like, I want to understand how Kevin shows up to work, right?
Mhm.
Kevin approaches his work, and I apologize for the third person, but I sound like a professional athlete. But it's like how do I show up? Like how do I implement that knowledge and manage myself and manage my communication? Because I early on in my career, we did a 360 assessment, and the feedback from some of my staff was that I wore my heart on my sleeve. So if I was frustrated, everybody knew I was frustrated, which then
Mhm.
frustrated them, right? So I had to learn to address that different in different ways and understand and really be mindful of my communication and my behavior and how it affected those around me, right? So
Yeah. I
thankfully that was 20 years ago, and I've matured a lot since then, apparently. At least that's what I'll tell myself. But what advice would you give a physician who is stepping into their first formal leadership role?
The best piece of advice I was given would be the one I would give here, that not every problem requires your immediate attention. I think one of the biggest failings I had early on was being overly reactive, overly solution driven to ensure that all problems were solved, every fire was put out. I ensured the highest quality everything except for myself. I was burning out. I was not giving others a chance to grow or learn. So what I've learned is over time, be aware that there are fires that will naturally extinguish themselves. There are fires that have linear solutions. There are fires that have nonlinear solutions, all of which can get you to the same end, and none of which necessarily demand your immediate attention. Take a minute. Don't respond to the email right away. Consider the broader impact of what this person's agency can bring to this problem by supporting it intentionally, by not necessarily giving an answer, but by guiding someone towards an answer. At the end of the day, the old adage of teaching someone to fish versus giving them a fish certainly bears meaning here, but it goes far beyond. We want to give someone an avenue, a design for action, a path towards success, and allow them to get there by showing them the directions that they need, the support that's available, and allowing them to solve their problem. And sometimes you have to be the solution. In a sea of problems, it's always great to be a solution. That said, the best solver of problems is the one that can identify individuals who can solve the problem on their own by using their critical thinking, the skills you give them, the support you provide, and allowing them to lead their solution more so than you have to solve the problem yourself. If one thing could be true for my younger self that I've learned now is that you don't have to be the solution yourself. The best leader has a team, and you need to rely on your team and trust your team.